How do you start a prayer? No, I mean personally, how do you start your prayers? I always try to default to first thanking God for what we have. Whether that is the food that we're about to eat at the dinner table, whether that's about the sunshine or the rain that we had that day, I try to think of a way to thank God for what He has given me, what He has given my family. How do you start a prayer? When the disciples asked Jesus how to pray, He said, when you pray, say this, Father, hallowed be your name. That's in Luke 11, verse 2. This is famously the model prayer, the prayer that all of us kind of have a template to live by. But Jesus said, you begin a prayer like this. You begin a prayer with praise to God. Many who study prayer teach that we ought to begin with a word of honor to God. This is an example we see centuries earlier in Nehemiah chapter 9, verses 5 and 6. Israel stood to pray after they had rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem, an incredibly monumental task, a very important task. And their prayer began like this in verses 5 and 6, Blessed be your glorious name, and may it be exalted above all blessing and praise. You alone are the Lord. Certainly God is going to hear our prayer, regardless of what we say, regardless of how scattered the thoughts may be. But I think the best way to start a prayer is with adoration and praise to God. What are some things that you might be able to say? I begin by thanking Him and praising Him for who He is. God, you alone are God. God, you alone are awesome. There is none like you. God, you have all the power and do all the wonderful things. It's never a bad idea to start a prayer with praise to God. And my challenge to you this week is say a prayer every day this week. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be drawn out, and it doesn't have to be eloquent. Just say a prayer and begin every prayer with at least one statement to praise and glorify God. God bless you, and I hope you have a great week.